Hello, good morning. I want to appreciate all of you for watching the first video yesterday. It had a very good reception, close to 100 views in only a few hours. That's a big deal to me. So I am still continuing with my part series on my life as the only medic in the family. I think yesterday I did the bad. It involved a lot of death and all. So today I want to do the good and talk about the good things and bringing forth life, etc. So I want to speak about my experience being the obstetrician, birth companion, birth determinant, everything of my nephew's deliveries. So I have two wonderful nephews, but I think I'll focus more on Ali's delivery and the role that I played as a medic in the family. So as we call him Azeze, that's a nickname he was given by his brother. So Azeze was it's a very special child to me, wonderful boy. So when the mother was pregnant, I'll begin from way back. I think also the delivery, the conception, my opinion was sought. Like, oh, now we want a second child. What do we do? You want this family planning? What's the next step to increase our chances of having another baby? And so, yeah, I've been part of his life from way back. So I think when the mother was, I think, around 28, 29, 30 weeks pregnant, she developed what we call preterm, pre-labor rupture of membranes, PPROM. So she was leaking like amniotic fluid. And so, everybody was in panic mode, but luckily I had come home for a weekend. So I was around when I saw it all. So I was like, I confirmed that this is drainage of liquor, etc. So the management plan, according to most guidelines in the world, especially in our third world setting, is admission. And then you give prophylactic antibiotics, close monitoring every day, watching out for infection, because once the amniotic bag is open, once it's leaking, then it's prone to ascending infection that will affect, the baby, the uterine cavity, the membranes, etc. So I told them, because because I was going to be coming home for leave in, I think, 2 weeks or so. So I told them, because we were still very far from delivery, and I'm going to be home anyway, so we can as well just manage you at home, but with close monitoring by me. Because I think at that point, the baby's weight, we did an ultrasound, and the baby was 1 kilo, 1 kg, like kilo moja. And we were like, we're not going to do delivery right now, so instead of admitting her in a hospital setting, and I'm going to be around, then we can as well manage her from home with close monitoring. So I initiated the management plans that, as per guidelines. So I put her on prophylactic antibiotics immediately. First of all, we did the ultrasound just to confirm the amniotic fluid levels and to make sure that the baby was okay. Then I put her on prophylactic antibiotics as per the recommended as per the guidelines, the national and international guidelines. And then I gave her steroid injections just for lung maturity of the baby, just in case we need to deliver the child before term. Just to make sure that the baby breathes, has sufficient surfactant in the lungs so that they will breathe on their own once delivered. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to simplify it to layman's language. So that's what happened, and so I went back. I came back for my leave. So I continued with very close monitoring. I had a fetoscope with me, so I will make sure that I listen to the fetal heart every day, like 6 times a day. We were watching out for infection. We were following all recommendations. So there was really no need for admission for her because I was around. Because you're admitted so that you can have close monitoring by your obstetrician. And I am a resident in obstetrics. So I thought that, no, she might as well be admitted in our house under my watch. So that's what happened. We continued, we pushed the pregnancy. The baby was doing well. We were doing fetal kick charts. We were monitoring the baby's fetal heart like 6 times a day. We were monitoring for infection. We were doing, at least weekly blood count in private laboratory. So I'll just take a blood sample to them and for running, and just to see if she's having any elevated white blood cells. So she was in good care, under good care. So we reached 34 weeks, and most guidelines recommend that for PPROM, or patients who have preterm, pre-labor rupture of membranes, that they be delivered at 34 weeks, because 34 weeks is considered a gestational age where a baby can, survive and most likely be able to do without admission to nursery, to NICU. So a pregnancy runs for 40 weeks, so we deliver babies with issues at 34 weeks mostly. So 34 weeks came, and I was like, nah, because according to the ultrasound scans, the baby was looking very small. I was like, So we pushed it further. Don't try this at home. It's only that I was monitoring her myself, and we knew that we had facilities where we could jump in and even do a C-section if need be within minutes. So that's what happened. So we pushed it further, but this time I was very cautious because guidelines say 34 weeks, but I was pushing it to 36 weeks. So I pushed it to 36 weeks, and I think close to 36 weeks I was like, no. I think I got scared. I was like, I think I've pushed it more than is legally required. And and then she was still leaking so much at that time, and the ultrasound was showing that she's tilting towards anhydramnios. Anhydramnios is whereby you do not have any amniotic fluid, like everything is leaked out. What happened is, so I called a consultant in our town, and I kept on updating him because I knew when it came to surgery that I wouldn't be the one to do it, just because she's my relative. I'm not allowed to do it, especially she's my brother's wife, like she's my sister. I'm not allowed to I wouldn't be allowed to do the surgery. It's unethical. So I remember one evening I just thought that we've pushed our luck too far, so this is it. So I told her, so you eat supper very well, but do not take breakfast. This is going to be a last meal. No fluids in the morning, nothing. And because you're going to have a C-section tomorrow. Okay, she had an indication for C-section already, so we were going to go for a C-section. And so I called the doctor, the consultant, and I told him, hi doc, so we're coming in tomorrow for surgery. So he was like, no problem. He was like, you know what, just make sure that she's fasted, she's prepared for theater, and then in the morning, just walk in and you'll be wheeled straight to theater. So we'd made arrangements with the hospital, so theater space was available for us. So the next morning, we woke up, and I think it was Eid, and everybody was preparing to go for Eid prayers, and us were preparing to go to hospital. So we went to hospital, we were received very well. We went straight to changing and straight to theater. Of course, after all the investigations had been done. So by the time we were changing, opening the file, all investigations had been run, the blood tests, and she was good for theater. So we went, and she was taken to theater and reviewed by anesthetist, and she was fit for theater at that time. And the doctor came in almost like 30 minutes later, and surgery was done. And drums rolling, came forth my nephew, who we thought was going to be a niece, because all ultrasound showed that it was a girl. Then it was a boy. So I remember I was the first one to receive the baby. Okay, we received the baby with the nurse, and I rushed to resuscitate him because I was scared. I was like, wow, what if he has this? What if he has all these problems? And I was still debating during the pregnancy because she had stayed for more than 2 weeks after the steroid injections. So I was like, do I need to give a rescue dose for steroids? Some studies say you can't. Some studies say that there's no role. Some studies say that you even predispose the mother to infection. So I didn't give. So I was a bit scared. I was like, I hope the baby is okay. I hope the baby won't have any issues. So I rushed to the resuscitation room. The nurse was like, Mama, unafanya nini hapa? I was like, I'm not Mama. I'm a resident in obstetrics and gynecology. So she was like, oh, daktari, karibu. So I actually assisted her. So I'm the one who put oxygen on my nephew and, suctioned what was visible in the mouth and kept him warm, put him on his first diaper. We gave him his tetracycline ointment and, vitamin K, etc. And so I was happy that the baby is okay. So I was very cautious. I think for like 30 minutes, I was just looking at his chest. I was like, wow, I hope he doesn't have indrawing of the chest. I hope he's not having any respiratory distress. And, and he was a bit blue towards the extremities and I was so scared. Of course, it's nothing to get scared about because it's my relative. Because it's my child, literally. I was very keen. So he became pink and all was good and we were happy. So we kept his delivery a big secret because we know he was still a preterm. Although he was close to 36 weeks, he was still a preterm. And so we didn't want to expose him to so many people, and because preterms have a high chance of getting infection and complications. So we kept it a big secret. None of my relatives knew that he had been born. So, some of my relatives knew that my sister-in-law was heavily pregnant, but then she just disappeared from the scene. And they're wondering, where did she go? Did she deliver? And, we were not posting photos, we were not taking pictures, we were not talking about it. Because we just didn't want visitors. When you live in a town where, which is your hometown completely, like where everybody is, you will get so many visitors in the hospital. They mean well, but a preterm baby is not supposed to be visited by so many people. Right? So we kept it a big secret. We sneaked her out of the hospital and we were at home. Of course, we were also very keen and very cautious because of the complications that can arise in a preterm. And boom, a complication arose again. The baby got severe neonatal jaundice after like a week, physiological jaundice, but we anticipated complications in a preterm, and we were watchful of all complications that could arise in a preterm. So we took him for treatment, for phototherapy, and he was being managed by his pediatrician, and he's well. So, and again, relatives were like, I think there were rumors that maybe she delivered and they don't want to tell us. So they were thinking, okay, let's then wait for Arubaini. Arubaini is a 40th day celebration of the birth of a baby. And we decided, nah, he's still a preterm. We're not going to do Arubaini. So we decided that we were going to push the celebrations to his first birthday. So literally his 10-month, 11-month corrected year. Because, for a preterm, we don't calculate age using the calendar period. We use corrected months, corrected years. So that's what happened. And also we were prepared. We were like, okay, we're not going to push him. We're not going to anticipate like milestones like any other child. We're going to correct the months. Like we'll calculate his age, corrected age at any given instance. So like at 6 months, he couldn't still like sit like other children, but we were okay with that. And during his corrected 6 months, he was okay sitting. After his first year, he just surprised us. He just shot and he was talking like a chatterbox, started walking. In fact, got toilet trained earlier than most children. And he's the naughtiest child ever right now. Very naughty. Very, good, a very happy child. So we used to, I think for the first 14 months or so, we were calculating his age according to the calendar years, but now he's just short milestones went ahead, so we are just So we calculate, nowadays we consider his age according to the calendar age. So he's going to start nursery after Corona, baby class after Corona. So anyway, so that's a good thing that I feel like I contributed to my family. You know, being a medic, I was able to give guidance and be there for her. For my sister-in-law, she was able to avoid a hospital stay that would have been probably more uncomfortable for her. And then also I was able to cut out so many myths that were being propagated when she started leaking. You know, because some of our relatives will tell us that, oh, you know, hata mwanamke akimwaga maji haina shida, kuna watu tu wanamwagaga, it's okay, and that's not okay, you know. And I was like, no, it is PPROM. It has to be managed. So many women out here, they still get these problems, and because a neighbor told them this or a relative told them this, they end up getting complications, losing the babies, getting severe infection, getting sepsis. So yeah, so you know, I was happy to contribute to Azez's delivery. So he's my baby completely, and he loves me, and I love him so much. So yeah, so I'll do another video, I think tomorrow. So watch this space and subscribe. Share the video as much as possible. Thank you very much, and I hope I'll edit it better than yesterday. Take care. Bye bye. Have a good day.